There's 30 different ways you can pose your trainer in Pokemon Go, and today we're going to be ranking the top 5 rarest ways you could potentially pose your trainer. Quick disclaimer, since there's a lot of poses that to get them, it's very similar, this is kind of going to be like the top 5 rarity tiers of poses. But in the number 5 slot, of course, we have purchasable poses. You can buy a variety of poses in Pokemon Go for 500 coins each, and this makes them the least rare because anyone with a credit card can just buy one of these poses, and you know, there's not really any exclusivity to it. These poses include the Obstagoon pose, the Team Skull pose, the Spooky pose, the Pokeball Grip pose, the Left Hip Stance pose, the Pokeball Flex pose, and the Power pose. I've rocked one of these for a little bit, but by no means are these rare at all because anyone can really get them as long as they just spend a little cash. The number 4 spot for rarest poses are going to be event poses. Now, some of these are a little rarer than others, and I will go through that in a second, but this category does include the Go Time pose, available if you bought a ticket to the Colossal Discovery event, the Mime pose, available from the Galarian Mr. Mime event if you bought a ticket to that, the Pikachu Rockstar and Pikachu Popstar, which was available from special research during GoFest 2021, Pokeball Lift pose was available from a collection challenge during the Hoopa Arrival event, the Bug Catcher pose was available from the Bug Out event in 2022, and finally the Bouquet pose was available for ticket holders from GoFest 2022. Now, I did break down those poses in order of age, so of course, the older the pose is going to be, the rarer it's going to be. Out of all of these, the Go Time pose will probably be the rarest because that was available during an event a long time ago, and if you missed it, you wouldn't get it. But technically, all of these are rare because they were only available during these types of events. Also, some of these were more expensive tickets than others to get. For example, the Mr. Mime was, I believe, like a $15 event, so that could have turned off a lot of players from buying the pose, making the pose rare. That brings us up to the number 3 spot, which is going to be leveling up poses. Unlike events, leveling up poses in Pokemon Go require actually a lot of effort and not just showing up to a certain spot on a certain day and playing an event. You actually need to grind the levels to actually get these poses, and let me tell you, some of these are actually very hard to get. There are 4 level up poses in Pokemon Go. We have the level 43 pose, we have the level 45 pose, level 47, and the level 50 pose. Some of these are actually even harder than just leveling up because you actually need to complete the level up special research that you get when you level up. For example, the level 50 pose, you don't just get it when you're level 50, you actually need to grind the special research, and it's actually a very hard special research. I'm working on it right now. These poses are easily the 3rd rarest because even just getting the level 50 pose requires you to get so much XP, complete so many different tasks, and spend a lot of time on the game. Not everyone has these poses, and probably the vast majority of players are not even above level 40 in Pokemon Go, which makes these poses the 3rd rarest in the game. That brings us on to the number 2 spot, which is going to be legend poses. Now, I believe these ones can really change in rarity, but if you don't know, every time you hit legend in Pokemon Go, that's what it's been called. It used to be ranked 10, now it's ranked 24, but the highest rank of Go Battle League, you will get a legend pose. There has been a total of 11 seasons of Go Battle League, and seasons are usually 3-month-long periods in which you can push up, and try to get the highest ranking, and then after the season ends, you get reset. Now, even though there's been 11 seasons, we technically only have 10 legend poses in Pokemon Go because season 5 was an unranked season and there was no pose included in that season. Also, season 11, which is technically the interlude season, the season where nothing happened and there was no rating, you would get the legend pose at rank 20. So you didn't actually need to push the legend. Almost anyone could get it. It wasn't very hard. So that pose we're going to exclude from this list, but that makes 9 different poses super rare in Pokemon Go. Let's go through them. I will put them on screen, but we have the season 1 pose, the season 2 pose, the season 3 pose, the season 4 pose, the season 6 pose, the season 7 pose, the season 8 pose, the season 9 pose, the season 10 pose, the interlude season pose, which we're not counting, the season 11 pose, and the season 12 pose, which is currently going down. Obviously, the older the pose is from older seasons, the rarer it'll be. So anyone with, the season 1 pose, that is an absolute flex because that means you hit rank 10 in season 1 when Go Battle League was just a baby. But that does not unwarrant any pose to hit legend because hitting legend is no easy feat in Pokemon Go. It requires a lot of time spending it to Go Battle League. I would actually argue that hitting rank 24 in PvP is harder than hitting level 50. Obviously, level 50 takes a lot of time, but the amount of actual knowledge you need to absorb and hit legend in Go Battle League is just insane. For all those reasons, that makes those poses the number 2 rarest in the game, and we're going to move on to the number 1 rarest pose in Pokemon Go. And only one trainer has this. I'm sure if you've been playing Pokemon Go recently, you know this, but that is going to be the 2022 World Championship pose. This is a pose that was only given to one player in the game, and that is the player who won the World's Championship in 2022. Pokemon Go is finally part of the World Championships. This means every single summer there's going to be a huge gathering of Pokemon Go players trying to compete for this huge title, which means you're the best PvPer in the world. If all follows suit, it seems like every single year we're going to have a new pose that is given to the person who takes the crown for number 1 and wins that tournament. Trainer by the name of Dancing Rob was the player who actually ended up winning it in 2022, the first year we ever had it, and he was of course gifted this very, very exclusive pose. This is the ultimate flex of the flex. It just shows your skills. You're able to prove to the world that you are the #1 PvPer in the game, which is probably one of the hardest things to do in Pokemon Go. A lot of people can hit level 50, but only one person can be crowned champion of the world in Pokemon Go PvP. I do want to come in here and actually note that there is different divisions for the World Championship. I believe there's 3. There's juniors, seniors, and masters. So there could potentially be 3 people with this pose. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's still very exclusive. We'll have to see if, as the years continue, they continue to release the same pose, so more players and more players get this pose, making it a little bit less rare every single year, even though just by a little bit. Or will they completely create a completely new pose for the World Championship and pretty much make this a one of a exclusive like pose? But that is a question for the future. If you guys enjoy this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like these rankings, maybe we could do like jackets or shoes or I don't know, something like that. Let me know in the comment section below as well what pose you're rocking in Pokemon Go. And have a nice rest of your day, guys. Fall Predictive one. Peace.